Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unaired, the show where we take TV shows canceled with episodes left unaired, review them, and then pitch our ideas for how we think they could have continued. I'm Ed, and with me today, I have Brandon from the Film Foil podcast.
How's it going, Ed? We've already been talking for about 10 minutes, but I feel like I'm just now meeting you.
Yes, that's usually my introduction to everybody. I introduce my podcast first. It makes job interviews very awkward.
Yeah. That's how I introduce myself, just in general. Meet people at Walmart. Hey, I'm Brandon from that one podcast you probably don't listen to.
And they're like, just give me the Cheerios. I'm checking you out.
And I'm like, oh, thank you very much. I've been working out, been slimming up.
So we covered this week the failed pilot for Zombieland.
Yes, and as I was kind of like doing some research on this, I kind of found out on the IMDb page, they actually list it as a made-for-TV movie or something.
Yeah, which is weird because this was made for a streaming platform.
Yes, well, actually, it was originally pitched for some network.
It was originally pitched for CBS.
That's what it was. And then, yeah, they dropped it, decided they didn't want to do it, and then Amazon picked it up to see how the pilot would do. And there's a little bit of risk or reward for you.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting case, though, because the writers of the movie, Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, actually wrote the pilot.
Yeah, and in it, the dialogue actually comes off very much like the movie. And I think, did they also have the same director or not?
I don't believe so, but I know for Zombieland 2, because they recently announced more details about that, because that's still apparently in production. They're trying to get the original director back for that.
Yeah, and I think the original cast is already on board for that.
Yeah, I know, what's his face?
Jesse.
Oh, God, Woody Harrelson.
Oh, Woody.
Yep,
Jesse's always the one I can't remember, because he looks like the two other guys.
Oh, Mark Zuckerberg and...
No. No, he looks like oh crap, Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, I was about to say John Cena. That's not the person.
John Cena.
Oh my Michael Cera.
Yes. John Cena and Scott Pilgrim would be horrible.
Oh my God, that'd be so weird.
And that one guy from Lonely Island. He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, Andy Samberg.
Yes. Those three look like a Pokemon evolution of each other.
I can see that. Like, it starts off with Michael Cera, goes into Jesse Eisenberg, and then ends with Andy Samberg.
Yep, and apparently their Mega Evolution is John Cena.
Yes, John Cena's the Mega Evolution. Only in the Alolan region.
Oh my gosh, an Alolan John Cena. I just imagine, like, Fabio hair.
He's got a grass skirt on.
Oh God. Actually, he's in WWE. That is a very possibility. There's an image somewhere of that.
Oh, it's entirely possible.
They do some weird things in WWE.
They do. So one thing I didn't make the connection of before I did a little bit of research on this is that the writers for Zombieland are actually the people that wrote Deadpool and Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's been a while since I've actually done some research on this, but yeah, they wrote Deadpool, Deadpool 2. There was some other big one. But yeah, those are like the two recent ones, and some of the humor comes across with it. Granted, Deadpool's obviously... I was going to say Deadpool is actually gorier, but Zombieland's pretty gory as well.
Yeah, they kind of delve... It's a little bit over the top for Zombieland, I feel.
Deadpool, yeah. Although Deadpool that's just kind of what Deadpool's meant to be.
Right.
It's meant to be so over the top, self-referential. But even Zombieland kind of has that humor because they have those zombie kill of the week and the rules and Columbus constantly talking to the audience in kind of a narrative sense.
Yeah, it's a very meta show, but also keeps the meta to a normal level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the Zombieland definitely comes off more as kind of a comedy documentary as opposed to a character controlling his own story like Deadpool does.
Right. And at least Columbus isn't turning to the camera did you see that shit?
Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious though. I bet it would be.
Oh my God, could you imagine Woody Harrelson doing that?
oh my gosh, yes, I can, and now that's what I want. Like, it doesn't. Although I don't think I want it to like be a straight like him talking to us. It's just that he's talking to Columbus, but the camera's just straight on.
Yeah, like one of those scenes where like he goes like, "Did you see that?" And like you think he's talking to the audience, then just cuts to Columbus. He's like, "Oh, you talking to me?" Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they almost actually do that in the movie when he does the "What do you think, zombie kill of the week" bit.
Yeah,
because he looks basically straight right at the camera, but the camera's just placed where Columbus is.
Yeah, that is true. They kind of do that.
Mm-hmm. So it actually makes a lot of sense.
So, what did you think of the cast of this show?
I think the cast itself, they were trying too hard to be the cast from the movie, and it just was not working. They came off very awkward. See,
the only one that I feel like that worked for was Columbus, because he is inherently an awkward character.
Yes. But I think the one that it was the biggest deterrent is Tallahassee. So Woody Harrelson's character got recast by some guy, I don't know, but every time I see him, he looks like he should just be that suburban dad that's trying to be cool with the kids.
See, I was thinking an actual guy from Florida that just goes to a lot of local wrestling matches.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking at a picture of him now, and I can actually see that. Yes, just wearing like blue tights because he's not going to wear the Speedo, and going shirtless and the gut hanging out. And
exactly,
he's definitely a jobber. He's the one that gets just beat up.
And he just comes out on stage with a beer, one hand, crushes it on his head.
Apple pie in the other hand, just throws that in his mouth.
Exactly, all in one bite, like a snake.
Yeah. Just...
Tin and all.
Tin, plastic wrap, and the Walmart sticker it came with.
Exactly. That's where the nutritions are.
Yeah. But yeah, my actually first note that I had while watching this was, I like the idea of the series, but I think it absolutely could have worked had they either gotten the original cast or they got this cast but wrote different characters for them.
Right. I think that's like the biggest struggle this show has, is the fact that they recast all four of the main characters.
And they're trying so hard to fit that role, and they don't. Like the dad does not look like a badass Tallahassee kicking ass since day one type of character. And what's the little girl's name? Is that Little Rock?
Yep, Little Rock.
Little Rock. She, I don't know. She just came off. I don't know what it was, but something about her just came off on me. Like she just didn't fit quite right.
Yeah, and the biggest deterrents of this show for me were Tallahassee and Wichita, because they look absolutely nothing like the original actors.
That's true. Wichita seems more... Actually, she looks like a friend I had that I almost said recently, but it's actually been a couple of years, that moved to California. She kind of has that California tanned dark hair look to her, and Wichita from the movie more this kind of independent. I was gonna say she probably fits more in a Chicago type, but she's actually from Wichita, obviously.
Right, and of course it was played by Emma Stone.
Yep.
Who is a very pale redhead.
Yep. And actually, that's the kind of the bummer about Zombieland happening when it did. It happened, the movie, it happened right kind of when all the main characters' careers were starting to take off. Because after that, Woody Harrelson got into Hunger Games, Jesse got into the Mark Zuckerberg Social Network, and Emma Stone got into being Emma Stone. And the other girl, I think her real name is Abigail something.
I think it's Abigail Breslin.
Yeah, and the only thing I know her from is Scream Queens.
Oh, that's right. She was in Scream Queens.
Yep. So the first time I was watching Scream Queens, her first scene, I had to pause it because I could not get out of my head that I knew her from somewhere.
See, I had that feeling with the actress they cast for Wichita in this show because I was like, I've seen her in something. And then I was embarrassed to find out it was the ABC Family show Switched at Birth, which I used to watch.
Oh, and I've never seen it. I don't think I've seen any of these characters before.
See, I think all of these actors are just like side characters, like one-offs from other TV shows. Like they just did guest appearances.
Yeah, and I looked at the filmography of the dad guy, but I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember what it is. So to IMDb we go. Tallahassee. Kurt Ward was his name. And
he looks like a Kurt.
He definitely looks like a Kurt. Kurt, or maybe a Harold or a Henry. You know what? If he was like an actor around that time, he totally could have been in contentions for the dad from Boy Meets World. He looks like that type of character to me. He
looks like the dad from Boy Meets World if he was a little bloated.
Yeah, kind of Alan in his like later years after he discovers pie. Oh, he was in. I just realized he was in Forrest Gump.
Was he?
Yes.
He of course played Bubba.
I don't think so. That if he did, that was some very good makeup artist.
Have you seen Tropic Thunder? It was like Robert Downey Jr.
I did not know that was Robert Downey Jr. the first time I watched Tropic Thunder, and it blew my mind.
Well, it's just like Les Grossman. I didn't realize that was Tom Cruise until I saw the credits.
Which one was Tom Cruise?
He was the producer. The guy that he picked up the phone. He was just like, why don't you step back and literally fuck your own face?
I vaguely remember, but it's been like a year and a half since I've seen Tropic Thunder. I saw it really late. And I only saw it the once.
He was also heavily in makeup.
I think I vaguely remember being surprised like that. But yeah, the Robert Downey Jr. one was the big one for me.
Yeah, he's a very good actor.
They all are.
Yeah.
They can all get into whatever characters they were going for.
Unlike the characters on this show.
Yes. We keep bringing it around to this show. It's like we're meant to be talking about it or something.
This show is literally the answer to everything.
Except you can never find it.
Yeah, this was a very hard show to find. Amazon wanted to bury this, I think.
I think they wanted it burned, yeah. I tried searching for it on YouTube and I only got the one result of somebody putting it in like a letterbox in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yep, that's how I watched it too.
And I was like, I need to like watch this like at least full screen, like in somewhat decent definition. So I did some more searching and actually found it on Daily Motion because that site still exists. And I was like, I actually want to keep watching this because all in all, if I forget that they're based on the characters from the movie, I kind of enjoy this. So I actually went ahead and downloaded that video. Although it's with us, it's obviously English, but it has Spanish subtitles to it.
So this is how you learn Spanish.
Absolutely. I know a very select words in Spanish, and it's everything they say in this. So I know zombie very well.
And you know fuck very well, because Tallahassee says it a lot.
And vagina. There's a counter for that one.
So yeah, the show starts off very bizarrely. It's basically in an office, and two people are kind of like, one guy's ranting about how shitty his day's been to his coworker, and in the background we just see a bunch of zombie shit happening. This is presumably right when the whole apocalypse is happening.
Right.
And a sandwich guy comes over and gives them each a sandwich. The guy that's been bitching all day is just like, ugh, you put pickles on it? I hate pickles. How could this day get any worse? And a zombie jumps through the window and starts eating him. Sandwich guy starts beating the shit out of the zombie. And guess what? Turns out Sandwich guy is Tallahassee.
Yep, and the introduction we get to him is just Columbus's character doing the voiceover work. And right as that zombie attacks, he asks if you can guess who survives this. And the reveal of that being Tallahassee is, well, I bet you would have guessed the Sandwich guy had you known this took place in the state of Florida, in a little town called Tallahassee.
Yep.
Zombieland guitar riff.
And then the actual intro, or the logo from the movie.
Yep.
Which actually still holds up. I still like that logo.
I really do like the logo, and I'm kind of curious if they're gonna like keep it and just slap a 2 on it for the sequel, or if they're gonna redesign, do a different concept for it, or what.
Oh man, I hope they stick with it.
I know, it's such a good logo, especially it fits the movie so well.
It does. So, our first scene with the whole crew of Wichita, Little Rock, Columbus, and Tallahassee is Tallahassee running from a fireworks store that he just lit on fire. And we get the first little pop-up of like Columbus's rules, and it says, keep up with cardio.
Yep.
It was, I believe that's actually one of the rules from the movie.
Yeah, it's the very first rule, cardio.
Yep. And there's the fireworks, and they're all like, oh, something doesn't seem right. And we get the voiceover from Columbus saying, that's because there's no people oohing and ahhing. And then, for some reason, they reinforce that by having Little Rock say, there's no people.
Yeah, this is one of the things where it really struck, like, it was weird that they had the same writers, because this seemed a little too over the top. Like, not over the top, but in your face for the same writers to be doing. Like, they didn't trust you to get it.
Right. It's definitely a very pilot type thing. Like most TV shows, the first episode, they bash over the head with this thing. But this is also an established movie, like an established franchise.
Right. It's like the people that are... Nobody's going to watch this for the first time and not know of the movie.
Exactly. You don't really need much exposition for this show.
Right. All the expositions in the movie, they even reference the movie... what was it? Because they mentioned that Columbus and Wichita used to be together, and this takes place, what do you say, 2 or 3 weeks after they got together, so after the events of the movie.
Yep, they broke up in an IKEA.
Yep, which is got to be like the worst place to get broken up with. And he has what's the book in his hand? The fathering, like how to be a father for dummies.
Right. His logic is, I want to relate more to Little Rock.
He's so stupid and awkward, and the actor plays it very well.
He does. He's a bargain bin Jesse Eisenberg.
Absolutely. Like this is discount Jesse Eisenberg. He plays that awkward. He knows why he's doing something, but he can't articulate it well, and because he gets really nervous around people.
Right. But this, getting back to the cast one more time, this show reminds me of that scene in Spaceballs where they're just like, we've got you, and they turn around and it's like, you idiots, you got their stunt doubles. This cast feels like the stunt doubles.
Oh my gosh, I never put that together, but oh my gosh, that's exactly what this is. They just cast their stunt doubles.
Exactly.
I still think Tallahassee's stunt double is a little off.
Yeah, he has hair. That's the biggest thing for me. Like,
he's not wearing the Tallahassee hat. He's not wearing a badass hat.
Right.
That was because before I went back and rewatched this pilot, I rewatched the movie again because I love that movie. It's my favorite movie. And I remember one of Columbus's lines about Tallahassee is some remark about him wearing a hat. And so when I was watching the pilot, I'm like, where's the hat? That's like a pretty key feature of Tallahassee. Right,
like that's one of his defining characteristics is he has that hat.
Yeah, it's leather jacket, shotgun, and hat, preferably snakeskin.
And a love of Twinkies.
And the Twinkies.
Which this show shit all over.
Oh my gosh, I can't even. He ate everything but... Did he ever bring up a Twinkie?
He didn't. Not once.
Not once. No.
He apparently is obsessed with Hot Pockets.
I get that because it seems like they only have been eating Hot Pockets for however long, probably the full 2 weeks. And so when they get that, what is it, a poisonberry pie from one of the people they run into?
Yep, that was Regina.
Regina! Oh, I love Regina. And that's like halfway through the movie, so we're going to get back to her.
Oh, yeah. So they get into their car after they set off the fireworks. And for some reason, OnStar works.
There's a lot of things in this universe that work that really shouldn't. OnStar works, and they get connected to Detroit.
Yep.
It's really weird referencing characters in this because they're all by places. So just remembering like who is what place is a weird concept.
There is one funny joke about that though later with Eugene, where he's like, Eugene, Oregon.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That was a pretty good joke to slip in there.
Yeah, it's one of those like under the radar goofs.
Yeah, it's like Eugene. Oh, that's his real name. Oregon or not.
Oh, exactly. So this is when we kind of get the essential plot of this series, or what was supposed to be the plot of this series, is Detroit says like, oh, there's actually a place in the eastern seaboard that is free of zombies, and there's kind of like a settlement there. And she's basically telling them where other people are to round them up and bring them along.
Yep. And because they basically decide after that moment at the fireworks stand that they want to kind of like build their group up and get some people involved. And I think the only person really against it is Wichita. Just because, what did they always say? What do we always say? People suck.
Yep. Yeah, even Little Rock was with it until Wichita brought that up, and she was like, oh, you're right, people suck.
Yep.
So they still go through with it. They find a man who is cleaning windows for some reason on a skyscraper.
Two interesting things about this. A, this is another thing in this universe was like, why is this guy working on cleaning windows? Is he that dedicated to his job? And then B, I believe this is also the only guy that is in the original movie. The window cleaning guy is also the guy in the movie that gets killed in the bathroom and is the gas station attendant that Wichita and Little Rock con money out of.
Interesting. I actually did not know that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that I was like looking it up, and I saw one character listed in both movies, and so I had to research it on the Amazon series. It said window cleaner because did we ever learn his name?
Nah.
No.
He gets bipped a little too quickly.
Yeah, but the way he gets bipped is great.
Yep. So he's so excited to see them, and he starts lowering the, what is that, scaffolding? I don't know the word for that thing, but it's the thing that window washers are always on. He starts lowering it, and he's like all excited, like, oh, there's more people. And a zombie jumps through the window and tackles him.
Yeah, and they both go flying and land smack dab on a car, and it's a glorious splat.
That's the one good thing about this show. The splats are definitely good.
I like the splats, and I like there's a lot of like good comedic timing bits in this series, and I think that's one of the reasons I kind of like the idea, and I wish they could have like gone a little bit further and just like got their own feet and not tried to like live in the shadow of the movie. Right,
because you're definitely right. There are a lot of good timing bits. A lot of the comedy from this is visual. There's not a lot in the dialogue that I found very funny. There are a few bits like the whole Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, Eugene, Oregon, the Tallahassee saying vagina counter.
Right, but other than that, it was mostly visual comedy, which I think for the most part worked.
Yeah, and that also kind of, granted I think the movie was much more cleverly written, just because they were starting from scratch and weren't picking up from anything. So that's kind of like a thing they kind of got forced into, is like they have to write this cleverly, but picking up from the movie and going into a series, yeah, the writing just seemed very, not stale, but just kind of bland compared to the movie.
It almost felt as if they hired like someone from Reddit to write an episode of it, like a fan of the series.
Yeah, like they went into like a very specific fan writers for Zombieland Reddit thread, and they found the one guy that was there.
They went on r/writing prompts and went, so how about Zombieland?
Zombieland, 2 weeks after the movie. Go.
And then they just stole them, all of them.
Yep. Well, there was only the one.
Yeah. It was a very unpopular thread.
Actually, no, they had several people writing for it, but they all wrote the same thing.
Yeah, it was a weird serendipitous moment.
Yeah, it was this weird hive mind that Reddit is famous for.
So after this, OnStar Lady Detroit, who's basically like Oracle from Batman.
Yep. And I will say that even though it makes no sense that OnStar works, I do actually like this kind of implementation as kind of a vehicle for the show to kind of get on track.
Yeah, it's a good, like, I don't know the best word for it. You know, like Navi from Legend of Zelda. It's kind of like an instructional type thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like the guide of the series.
Right.
Or kind of like the quest giver, if you will.
Right. And there is one thing about the two African American characters. I feel like they went a little too stereotyped with them.
Yeah, they did. And they not even like two different stereotypes, they were almost the same character.
Right, like you have a very sassy black woman as Detroit, and then right next we meet Regina.
Which is a very sassy black woman that likes to bake.
Exactly. Like she even says, there's a line from the series, my name's Regina. It's like vagina with an not with an R, with an
Regina.
Yeah, which is named after the city in Canada.
Yep. Which actually, I did not know that. But also on the Spanish subtitles, it did in quotes ERR. It's like vagina, but with an
Which I just realized, Deadpool, they actually make a Regina joke too. When Deadpool's about to kick someone's, I think he's about to kick Francis's head, and he's like doing a sports commentating like bit where he's like, from Regina, the land that sounds like fun, or something like that.
I just recently rewatched Deadpool. I need to go back and see if I can catch that.
Yeah, it's one of the scenes on the highway where he's got Francis stabbed up. Spoilers, but the movie's like 5 years old. But yeah, when he stabs Francis into the car and starts kicking the shit out of him, that's when it happens.
That was a good scene, though.
It is a good scene.
Maybe the writers just like the fact that there's a town called Regina.
I mean, how can you not, though?
Maybe in every episode of Zombieland there'd be a Regina character.
Or like, hey, I'm Titicaca because I live in Lake Titicaca. They just find every horribly named city.
Yes, I don't think I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and I don't know any. I know there's a town called like Middlesex, but it's spelled Middlesex, which is really the best part.
There you go. That could be like a goof, like a Middlesex, spelt Middlesex.
Yeah, or it's just on his name tag.
Right.
Middlesex. It's pronounced Middlesex. Whatever. Get over here, Middlesex.
And then there's a counter for that.
Yeah.
So this is when we meet Regina. She gives them pie, and then is almost immediately killed by a zombie. Another splat.
Yeah. And all these people kind of get killed in a very... Not the way they get killed isn't comedic, but the fact, like, in this scenario, they're just walking just in front of Regina eating the pie and explaining, like, the perks of being in their group with Columbus's rules and whatnot. And as Tallahassee's talking, a zombie just football tackles her over a bridge and onto the sidewalk below. And they only realize that it's either because of her screaming or the splat.
I think it was the splat. And then Tallahassee's like, God damn it.
Yep, like without turning around, just God damn it. Yep.
And then we find out there's a rule, always bring Ziploc baggies.
Yep, which is a little fun fact, because I looked up the Zombieland rules. In the original movie, there's actually a deleted scene for this. Ziploc bags are going to be rule number 2 instead of the double tap.
That's weird. I feel like double tap is a little more important than Ziploc, but...
Which is kind of why it probably made the cut. But I think in the deleted scene, the line is... always bring Ziploc bags. Just because this apocalypse doesn't mean moisture has to ruin your day. And I can't remember what rule this is. I didn't have it on my notes. Yeah, I don't know what rule number it is.
I forgot to. It's one of those things where it's like a blink and you miss it type of thing.
Yeah. But we also find out after, sadly, Regina's dead, that Tallahassee and Little Rock kind of blow off steam by, what do they call it? Doing an anger lap.
Yep, they do anger laps.
Which is something I might incorporate into my own life, because that seems fun.
that does. Just like get pissed off and you just go running.
Yeah, it's like you just get so mad and you just bolt in any direction. Don't care where you're going. Just
flail your arms.
Yep. Just pull a Kermit.
Exactly. So then they meet up with Eugene and they say, don't come down. Like, he's in a big building and he's waving from the window, and they say, don't come down. We're coming to you.
And it's kind of like this building getting built. So it's just like getting midway constructed.
Right. And Tallahassee says, we're saving this guy. I don't care if I have to take a bullet. We're not letting this one die.
We're the Secret Service. He's the president.
Right. And they start bringing him down, and then a construction zombie shows up, and he just kind of falls through the floor. And they're like, oh, woo, he didn't die. And then Eugene falls through the floor.
Yeah, right after, like, Tallahassee, like, pats him once on the shoulder, and that's just enough weight for the floor to give out.
Exactly.
That was probably one of my favorite bits in this series.
Yeah, and this is where we get the actor that's playing Tallahassee acting the most like Woody Harrelson as Tallahassee, because he does the whole like air punching, screaming "fuck" 30 times.
Yeah, and makes a reference, and he knows Little Rock's not gonna get it.
Yep.
Because like if you who did he reference? Crap. I know it too.
It was somebody that I didn't understand the reference for, so I was in Little Rock's position.
Because it's... Oh, man, this is going to bug the hell out of me. Can we pause and I'll just rewatch it?
If you want to.
No. It'll be fine. I know it's not an actor, it's a character from some TV or movie.
Right. And he also makes a Zuckerberg reference, which I thought was kind of tongue-in-cheek.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because this would have been after Social Network.
Exactly.
I did not put that together. Yeah, that is a little tongue-in-cheek, screw you, Jesse.
That would be odd, though, if Jesse Eisenberg was the one that actually stuck around.
Yeah, and they just left that in. Like, they were just ready to film, and Jesse's like, hey, guess what? I'm available. I can do this now.
See, hold on. That could work, though, because they could do a goof like, oh, we actually found glasses for you. And he just puts on glasses. He goes, oh, you guys look different. And that could have been like a little meta reference. So this is where they get back in the car. So they get directed to the last two residents in LA.
Yes. Was it Bubby and
Pap? Papa.
I think we're doing the exact same bit that they did in the show.
Yeah, that's basically the bit they do. They all go through their grandparents' nicknames, and then they start calling like Booby and Poop Poop is what they call them.
Oh my! Who was it? Wichita and Little Rock's Pappy and Muffers.
Yeah, Muffers, and that was added to the vagina counter was Muffers.
Yep, and I think that's like one of the last lines of narration at the end of this is like, yes, Muffers counts.
Yep. So we actually get Columbus breaking one of his own rules, because he goes up to the bathroom, puts his shotgun down, he goes to wash his hands. He doesn't go to pee. But that's when he gets caught by some zombies.
Yep, beware of bathrooms, even if you're not peeing.
Exactly. Which, a little break from character.
Yeah, it's also... I think the bigger break in character is he sets the gun down in a different room.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, I'm like, just take... There's plenty of room in that bathroom.
Right, it's not a porta potty.
It's like, it was one of those weird things, like, I don't know how they missed that, or like why they did that. It just broke... Little things like that kind of broke the series for me.
Yeah, so we actually get a very comical fight scene. I did enjoy this fight scene.
Yeah, and it was actually kind of reminiscent from the movie, because in the movie when Columbus is getting attacked by his neighbor 304 or whatever her name was, when she becomes a zombie, he gets pinned down in the bathroom and he starts pulling things out to throw at her, and it's all the soft stuff, and we kind of get that same thing.
Yeah, that was my favorite part too, is he gets pinned down by a walker and he just starts pulling the tennis balls off and chucking them at the old dude.
Yep. And just nothing. But
nothing.
I think one of my favorite it's not a bit, because it's not all that funny in the moment, but he actually gets bit by the grandma. And it was one of those moments like, oh crap, how are they going to resolve this? And she pulls away, and it's just her dentures. Her dentures come out. That is some very clever writing. I actually really enjoyed that.
That was definitely a good bit. And then after the whole fight, Wichita kind of peels them off of Columbus.
Yeah, and I think she's like peeling them out. She's having a hard time. She's like, oh, ew, that's disgusting. Ew.
Yep. So they're a little sad that this whole thing went down. They talk to Detroit one more time. And then Tallahassee's like, she kind of sounds sexy, doesn't she?
like a sexy sister vibe.
Yeah, and then Columbus says, well, yeah, most people in the telecommunications industry are.
I can vouch for that.
Same. Not to toot my own horn, but...
I was only in it for like 3 months.
Oh, I answer phones overnight, so like...
Oh, man.
I got the headset on, and I am doing my sexy voice.
That's the only voice you have, Ed.
Oh, thank you. So, yeah, this is when they decide they're gonna make their way to Detroit on their way to the Eastern Seaboard.
And I feel like that would have been like the season finale for season 1, is that them getting to Detroit.
That definitely would have been like a good, if this would have been picked up for 2 seasons. Yeah. That would have been like the perfect way to end season 1. And then season 2, and possibly series finale, we'll get into, but like them ending up on the Eastern Seaboard.
Absolutely. Or Canada.
Which, you know, zombies can't get cold. Is that not like a prevailing theory? Like, just go to Canada, people.
Yeah, well, I actually had how was it? I don't know. I watched a video on The Walking Dead that kind of like talked about this, but I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah, my only reference for that is the very awful but very amazing Resident Evil films.
Have not seen those.
Yeah, you don't want to. They're not good.
I played one Resident Evil game, and that's the extent of my knowledge.
Well, you did your due diligence. You're good.
I can't remember which one it was.
So yeah, that's how the series goes. Yep. We're gonna take a quick little break and then be right back with our pitches.
Hi, I'm Drew.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Tanner, and we are the hosts of Headline Heroes.
Every week we take a bizarre, out there article.
Germans build underground pipeline for beer.
An attempt to create a superhero or villain.
The obvious one is that they have a giant robot that runs off of beer.
Along the way, we discuss powers, design a costume, and of course, struggle with a name.
Graham Sam?
No. Sam, no!
And inevitably, we get off subject and talk about the really important stuff.
I did go to Bill Engvall's website, and I just want to tell you a couple of things I'm seeing here.
Please do, I wish you would. But we always arrive with the super creation we are proud of. Join Headline Heroes every Tuesday as we try to make reality a little more super.
So Brandon, had this show been picked up, what kind of episodes do you think we would have seen?
Well, there were some like key elements in this pilot that I think would have been like a running theme. Like the zombie kill of the week would have definitely been a running thing. The Tallahassee being obsessed with a word counter type of thing would have been a running theme. But I think every episode would have revolved around one of the rules. Like what was it? This episode, did I not mark it down? Nope. But it centered around one of the rules. I can't remember which one it was. So I think one of the episodes would have centered around rule number 8, get a kick-ass partner. And I feel like that episode would have gone something where they're on their way to Detroit. They stop in another city, hopefully to revitalize the Twinkies. And get Tallahassee looking for the Twinkies. I don't know where Twinkies are made, but hopefully it's somewhere in between wherever they're at and Detroit. And they try to find Twinkies, and Tallahassee, trying to be the badass that he is, just kind of takes over the killing thing, and refusing help from I would specifically want Little Rock to be wanting to help and him keep shooting her down. But by the end of the episode, he gets into a position where he looks like he's gonna die, very reminiscent of the movie, and Little Rock comes in and saves the day with, I don't know, I want it to be really badass. An RPG would be really cool.
Or like a Gatling gun.
Oh my gosh, yes. Not even a mounted one, like her holding a Gatling gun. Like, just shoulder strap, like twice her size. Just like ammo clips, like, or the ammo belt, like, draped along the floor, like 5 feet behind her.
Right, like
just,
Rambo style.
If she could have like both and just go on full Rambo. And have her actually dressed as Rambo.
She's got like a knife in her teeth.
Yeah. Well, it'd be Little Rock to be and just mow down zombies and just being the most badass person. And at the end of that episode, just like the movie, she has a Twinkie for him.
See, I like that. I feel like he should potentially move on eventually. I think second season he should move on to like another Hostess brand, because he just like finds, instead of Twinkies, he finds like Hostess cupcakes. He's like, oh damn, these are delicious.
Oh, like he just finds like a new treat he's never heard of.
Right. Like maybe it's like a candy bar, like, oh, I never had a Reese's cup before.
What if instead of Little Rock finding a Twinkie for him, she finds another piece of candy? He's like, it's not as good as Twinkie, but I'll try it. He tries it, and that is what he's now obsessed with.
Right, like maybe it's like a Chocodile or something, like it's in the Twinkie family.
I'm trying to think of like some obscure candies or treats. Oreos.
Oreo.
They just got brought, well, not just, but they've been relatively recently brought back.
Like he just found, and it's not like the new ones, it's like the 1999 Oreo O's.
Oh yeah, the original Oreos was jacked full of sugar.
Oh yeah.
But man, you would have to worry about carrying around milk though.
That's true. Maybe they'd find a cow.
He learns to milk a cow. I like this episode so much better. That'd be the following episode. He's obsessed with Oreos, but he needs the milk.
So he diverts their trip to find a cow.
Yes. Oh, what's known for cows? Iowa? Is Iowa cow?
I know Wisconsin is cheese, so they got to have some cows up there.
And Wisconsin, I think, is on the way to Detroit, so they could totally be going through Wisconsin.
There we go.
Wait, is Wisconsin almost hitting Michigan? Is it right next to Michigan?
I think it's like the neighboring state.
So that would be like the like penultimate episode right before the season finale.
There we go. Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yes.
This is us showing how little we remember about geography.
I am horrible at geography. I know where Nebraska is. I know all the states that border us. And then I know the West Coast, the big ones on the East Coast, and Texas.
Can't forget Florida, the dick of America.
Of course.
So I feel like one of my favorite things from the movie Zombieland was the Bill Murray cameo.
Right.
So I'm thinking...
Big spoilers, by the way.
Big spoilers. Again, movie came out in 2009, I think. So if you haven't watched it...
That is one moment in the movie that everyone in the theater... Because me and my friend saw it on the midnight release. Everyone in the theater just went crazy as soon as they saw the pictures of Bill Murray.
It's definitely by far like my favorite part of that movie.
It's so good, and especially if it's your first time seeing it and you don't know that cameo's in there. The fact that they kept it so under wraps that nobody knew about it.
Right, because like I didn't see it in theaters. I saw this on DVD, and the fact that I didn't know about that like a year or two after it came out on DVD. Man, that was such a good reveal.
It was... Zombieland is my favorite movie, and there's so many reasons why, and that is one of them.
So I'm thinking to tie this into a segment that I do on the show, The Tooch is Loose. We're going to get Stanley Tucci up in this bitch. So I'm thinking, Hunger Games is basically about survival. So there's an episode where they're kind of like just roaming along, and all of a sudden they step on the ground, just like, oh, I heard something say ow when I stepped on it. They look down. It's Josh Hutcherson from Hunger Games, plays PETA, and he's like taking up the whole face painting thing that he did in the movie to hide. Yeah. So they all kind of like, it's just going to be him and Tucci. We can't afford Jennifer Lawrence. This is an Amazon show.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So that's kind of Josh Hutcherson's way of surviving. And in the movie, Bill Murray just kind of paints his face like a zombie and just kind of walks around zombie-like.
Little licorice for the ladies.
Yeah. So Stanley Tucci, kind of tying in with the Hunger Games, what he's learned from that. Everybody loves a good love triangle. So Stanley Tucci has a love triangle going on with some of the zombies, and they are loving it.
Oh, wow.
And that's where we get into Rule 69. Don't have sex with a zombie.
Like, as far as I know, he's only like up in the 30s. He just skipped straight to 69 for that rule.
Oh, yeah. He had to. You can't not have that number not be that rule.
And that needs to be the closing joke on that episode.
Exactly. Stanley Tucci's just like, I don't feel so good. And he starts turning into a zombie. That's when we find out, he started falling for one of these zombies.
Can he have like an alien-esque zombie baby burst out of his stomach?
Oh my god, a zombie, like in
Zombie.
Dawn of the Dead. Yeah. Again, spoilers for Dawn of the Dead.
We're just gonna spoil anything related to zombies.
Yep, every zombie movie, Shaun of the Dead. They're zombies. Surprise.
I did not know that. I haven't seen Shaun of the Dead.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I don't know how to handle this information.
Have you actually not seen Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, I have not actually. Like, I'm fully aware there are zombies in it, obviously.
Oh, you like Zombieland, you're gonna like Shaun of the Dead.
I am at when this is after I saw Zombieland, I went and every now and then I go and just like look up things about Zombieland, and that's the one thing I always hear is that it's like because didn't Shaun of the Dead come out just before or just after Zombieland?
No, it was 2004, I think. I just watched it the other day.
Shaun of the Dead was? And when was the Zombieland movie?
I believe 2009.
9, okay. Yeah, I think there was some other comedy horror type movie that came out shortly after that, after Zombieland, because it did have a record in that specific genre until something just shortly after beat it.
Right, I think, what was it, Warm Bodies? That, like, rom-com about a zombie?
Could have been. I felt like it did have Dead in the name, though.
Might have been Juan of the Dead. I know they made that.
Oh, well. I'm not going to look that one up.
But yeah, what other episodes do you think we would have seen?
Well, I wrote down 2 other rules, but I didn't write down any, like, episode concepts for them, so maybe we can kind of come up with something like that. So Rule 25 is shoot first.
Okay, shoot first.
And I feel like there could be a double meaning there of, like, not hesitating shooting a zombie, but then also something about, like, shoot first as in Columbus being the one to take the initiative with Wichita.
And hopefully not shooting first when he takes that initiative.
But
Thank you. I'll see my way out.
golf clap.
But yeah, I definitely could see that. Like, that could be like a relationship drama episode. And maybe Tallahassee could be, maybe that's when they meet Detroit. Like, that could be Tallahassee kind of hesitating, like, maybe I should go for it, maybe I don't.
What if Detroit becomes a zombie?
Oh, no.
What if it's a 2-part season finale? And Tallahassee develops like a relationship with Detroit. She becomes a zombie, and he hesitates.
And then maybe like the end of the first part, she's revealed that she got bit, but she doesn't want to say anything.
Right, it's just revealed to the audience.
And then like part 2 is like he's telling her, but he's like got his back turned to her as she's turning into a zombie. So he's saying all this stuff as she's like convulsing on the ground, starts eating like a seagull or something. Detroit, known for their seagulls.
Obviously. Delicious, delicious Detroit seagulls. That's some high-class shit right there.
Oh, yeah. Throw some ketchup on it. Good shit.
Detroit ketchup. Specifically made. Made with motor oil.
Made by Buick.
That's the extent of my car knowledge.
Yeah.
Detroit's known for cars, and there's motor oil involved.
Eminem's from Detroit. Oh, maybe Eminem could be there.
Oh, Eminem the rapper. I thought you meant the candy.
He could be eating M&Ms.
Well, I was thinking, what if Tallahassee never had M&Ms before?
I was about to say that could be Tallahassee's new treat.
Where were M&Ms? Where did M&M? I'm totally Googling this. Start. Tacoma, Washington. So it's probably way out of the way for them.
I mean, that could be... Oh, wait, no. I was thinking Wisconsin, Washington. Those are not the same state.
Nope, very close. They both start with a W.
That is true.
And that's where the similarities end.
Yep. They have vowels.
They have vowels. What is Wyoming? Wyoming is Y-W-Y, I think?
Yep. This is off topic, but I have a friend that thought Wyoming, she actually thought this was actually Wyoming.
Why?
There's a woman who has been to college. She's graduated college.
And she still thought this?
And she thought that the state was Wyoming.
Wyoming. Green Bay, Wyoming.
But yeah, what was the other rule you had?
Rule 22, opportunity knocks.
So maybe this could be like an episode of them kind of looting places, because we don't really get that much. We get that in the movie of them like kind of looting the grocery store for supplies.
Yeah. Looting the grocery store, looting that one place where Tallahassee gets all the guns and he screams, "I love rednecks."
So maybe it could be kind of something like that, where either they find someone or something that they weren't expecting because they didn't knock. Like they didn't check the surroundings properly.
I'm seeing if there's a town named Opportunity, and an Opportunity could totally be a character.
Oh, that'd be great.
Now I'm just seeing like a lot of job opportunities.
Don't need jobs in Zombieland.
The only job you need is zombie killing.
Exactly. And that's a 24-hour job.
Hold on. There's a Mental Floss article, funniest town names, all 50 states. Alabama. Apparently there's a Screamer, Alabama. There's a Unalaska, Alaska.
Oh my god.
Y, Arizona. Smackover, Arkansas. Rough and Ready, California.
Oh my god, that's an actual name of a city?
Yes. Yes, the picture that they have looks like it's like an old like mine town or something. But yeah, Rough and Ready, California.
There's gotta be a character, Rough and Ready.
Yeah. I'm rough and ready.
And then Tallahassee's like, damn, wish that was my name.
He's more badass than Tallahassee.
And Tallahassee's just jealous the entire time.
And then the first time Rough and Ready comes across a zombie and he doesn't have his trusty whatever gun he uses, he runs away screaming like a girl, and Tallahassee grabs the nearest garbage can and just beats that zombie to death.
Right, kind of like he did in the pilot, where he just uses a sandwich cart to beat the shit out of a zombie.
Yeah, we'll just take anything.
I feel like the way this series could end is maybe they find... Well, obviously they're going to end up on the eastern seaboard. They get this new family. And I feel like it could have like a... either very meta ending, or just kind of like a... and that's just another day in Zombieland panning up type thing. But I feel like they could have like maybe a cure, and there's like a post-credit scene where the actor that plays Tallahassee, is meeting with like a Hollywood executive, like, and I want Woody Harrelson to play me. Like, kind of like pitching the whole thing as a Zombieland movie TV show.
Yes, I love that so much now. And that would totally explain why they they kept the characters but recast them.
Right. Like a little bit of a way around it.
I was totally going to say I don't see how this series could like end, but I think you just nailed it right on the head. Nailed the zombie right on the head.
Yep, that's how you kill him.
Bug Tussle, Kentucky. Burnt Porcupine, Maine.
Oh my god.
Hell, Michigan. I actually knew that one. That'd be a good place for an episode.
I mean, Detroit is basically hell. They're both in Michigan.
That's true. How far is Hell, Michigan from Detroit? This episode is just going to be us Googling town names.
Yeah, and like MapQuest.
Michigan, Detroit. Hour and 3 minutes, not bad.
Yeah, they could go to hell for an episode.
Zombieland in hell.
But yeah, so I think that's gonna do it for Zombieland. Brandon, if people want to find more of you and your very funny podcast, where can they find you?
They can find specifically me on Twitter and Instagram at BrandoV2. And if you like the sound of my voice and want to hear me talk about movies I know nothing about, you can join me and my co-host Tyler on the Film Foil podcast. And you can follow us on Twitter at Film Foil Podcast. And we also have a Facebook group. And we also have a website, filmfoilpodcast.com.
Yes, definitely check it out. And Brandon, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's been about a month.
Yeah, a lot of scheduling. I am the king of scheduling issues.
Cause, when we started talking about like possibly doing this, it was, I think we were going to record it June 16th.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I remember that is when I was watching the pilot, it starts off on June 17th because that's the day Tallahassee thinks is George Washington's birthday, which is why he's blowing up fireworks.
I forgot about that goof.
Yep. And I was like, oh man, if we recorded on like the 16th, I'm like, oh, that'd be like a great thing to bring up.
Yeah.
Lovely Ladies, New Jersey.
Lovely.
Sorry, Love Ladies, New Jersey.
Oh, I like Lovely Ladies better.
So do I. It's all one word though, so it's Lovelities.
That could have been a goof too. Like
Candy Kitchen, New Mexico.
Candy Kitchen, New Mexico.
Yes.
Jesus.
Never Sink, New York. Why not North Carolina? That's a great place to end. That's a great place to end the season.
Why? Yeah, why not?
Why do we want to start here? Why not North Carolina?
God, all I can think of is Zoidberg now.
Right? Yeah. I can't do a Zoidberg.
Why not Zoidberg? I just sound like I'm having a stroke when I do it. So yeah, check out all of our social media stuff at Unaired Podcast on pretty much everything. Facebook, Twitter, all that fun jazz. Subscribe, rate us in iTunes, and rate Film Foil too. Give them 5 stars. But yeah, thanks for listening, and just remember, some things are better left unaired. Bye.
Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Jesus Christ.
Testing. Can anyone hear me? My name is Toby, and I'm the host of the Secret Transmission Podcast. We are a show that discusses the paranormal, conspiracies, the supernatural, UFOs, cryptozoology, and anything else weird. Our show is transmitted to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. You can also follow us on Twitter for updates at Secret Transpod. So get ready to put on your tinfoil hats and come learn with us as we try to explain the unexplainable.
For more details.